Have you ever wondered if a man's love is genuine or if it's just words without substance? It can be challenging to decipher through affection from empty promises. The truth is that many people say beautiful things, but not all of them truly mean it. It's easy to be swept away by sweet words only to later realize they were nothing more than empty notes in a passing melody. In today's video, we'll reveal the 7 telltale signs when he's head over heels with you. No more second guessing. Let's dive right in. Number 1, I love you. He will definitely tell you, I love you. Some of you might be thinking, well, if he truly loves you, he'll say, I love you, right? But it's not always that easy. I want to stress this because I've seen situations where women are with men who don't say those 3 words, I love you. At the beginning of a relationship, it's okay if those words haven't been said yet. But we shouldn't just wait for time to decide when it's right. If you've already told him you love him and he wasn't said it back, that's a warning sign. Usually, a man in deep love with you won't have trouble saying I love you. He might hesitate at first thinking it's too soon, but he will say it, especially after a few months or when you're officially together. If he keeps making excuses and doesn't say it, that's when he needs to be cautious. One possibility is that he has past trauma or has trouble expressing his emotions this way. While this is understandable, it can't be an ongoing excuse. If you're in a relationship and he can say these words over time, it can create doubts over his true feelings. Actions are important, but words matter too. If a man can say, I love you, but doesn't show it through his actions, that's a problem. Both should go together to confirm his love for you. Some men might have said, I love you before, and it caused problems in their relationships. This could be because they became too emotionally dependent or unstable. While the words themselves might not have been the issue, it's important to address these problems instead of using them as an excuse to avoid saying, I love you. Now let's talk about using different words. Some people might say things like, you are loved and you are missed instead of I love you or I miss you. This subtle change could indicate a reluctance to fully embrace their emotions. It might be because they don't truly love you or have difficulty being open and vulnerable. If you notice this, don't disregard it as unimportant. It can make a difference. In summary, a man deeply in love with you will say, I love you. It's a basic way to express his feelings. Number 2, I'm on the way. They would say that when you're friends with someone, you're not required to assist them, but when they're sick at night, although you might choose to help out of kindness. But when you're deeply committed to someone and when you love them, you have a strong desire to be there for them when they need help. When a man is deeply in love, he wants to be the one to support you, to be like a superhero and to be the person you can always rely on. His love motivates you to come to your aid when you need him, to take care of your needs and to be the person you can count on when things get tough. So when he says, I'm on the way, it means he really wants to be there for you. But it's important to remember that he won't always be perfect. There may be times when he can't be there due to his responsibilities or limitations. However, even in those situations, he'll likely try to find other ways to assist you. To judge his willingness to be there for you, think about whether he generally makes an effort to help or frequently avoids helping you. When he's deeply in love, saying, I'm coming to help will likely be something he says quite often. Number 3, he will make it official. When a man really loves you, let's think about the guy you've been going out with, okay? When he truly loves you, he won't have any trouble saying that you two are official or giving it a name. It's important to hear these words from him, alright? I've seen many situations where women think a guy is their boyfriend because they've been doing all the boyfriend-girlfriend stuff like kissing, hugging, and meeting each other's parents. But when she brings up the idea of being in a relationship, he might say, who told you I was your boyfriend? I never said that. So you need to be cautious. Here's an example. A friend of mine met a guy online. They went on dates and after a month he mentioned he wasn't dating anyone else. She assumed they were officially a couple. However, my friend explained that it meant he wasn't seeing other people, but they weren't officially committed. It can be confusing, you know? That's why you need to hear words like official or you're my girl. I mentioned you're my wife because if it leads to marriage, he'll introduce you as such. In a serious relationship, he should introduce you properly, not just a friend. If he is really serious about you, he won't hesitate to say you're together and proudly show you off to the world. If he doesn't do that, you can be sure he's deeply in love and ready to announce your relationship to everyone. So pay attention to how he talks about your relationship. Number 4, how are you feeling? When a man really loves you, he often says, "How are you feeling?" It's a simple question, but it shows he's interested in how you feel. He wants to be there for you and listen to your worries. However, keep in mind that guys may not always understand your feelings completely because they're not as good at it as women. They can't read your thoughts or finish your sentences. So don't think he doesn't love you if he doesn't get everything. Sometimes it's still getting to know you and how you express yourself. Talking to each other is super important in a relationship. If you haven't talked about what you need, what's on your mind, and how you see things, there might be a disconnect. Guys might not catch on to subtleties, but it doesn't mean they don't care. They just need you to be clear with them. At the beginning of a relationship, be careful about the habits you form. If you keep downplaying your feelings with answers like, "I'm okay," or "It's not a big deal," he might stop asking. It's not because he doesn't care, he thinks he can handle things by yourself. To keep his concern, be willing to share your feelings and thoughts. If you want him to ask how you're doing, be open when he does. Remember how you start a relationship sets the mood. If you want him to show he cares, be open and honest with him. Don't fall into the trap of closing off and assuming he should know how you feel. Good communication is the key to a happy relationship. Number 5, I want to make you happy. From a different perspective, when men truly care about you, they'll start saying something like, "I want to make you happy." As your relationship grows, you'll notice more caring words such as, "I want to bring happiness to your life," or "How can I make you happy?" They genuinely want to make you smile and understand their part in achieving that. They'll pay close attention to what you want and need. It's essential to tell this apart from a selfish relationship where it's all about him and not about what he can do for you. Love is a two-way street, and it doesn't have to be perfectly balanced in terms of what each person gives or gets. Instead, it's about both partners feeling happy, satisfied, and fulfilled in the relationship. Number 6, he'll use we, us, and our when talking about the future. When a man is truly in love with you, he will really care about your happiness and will be willing to make it happen. Another clue is when he starts using words like we, us, and our. He won't only think about himself. It's about the both of you and your future together. He'll want you to be part of his life in different ways, like coming to watch him play sports or sharing experiences. This shows a strong desire to be together and connect, not just through actions but also in the way he talks about your relationship. So make sure to notice these signs of real love. Number 7, he enjoys talking to you more than anyone. Now let's discuss something important from a different perspective. Imagine you're in a relationship and you want to talk about communication, right? When a guy really cares about you, he wants to have conversations with you and share things. He finds talking to you more enjoyable than chatting with other women. This means he values the connection you both have. Some guys might not be big talkers, but that's because they might not feel a strong, deep connection with their partner. When couples spend time together without good communication, it can mean there's love, but it's not that deep, head over heels kind of love. It's important to figure out if you genuinely love him as well. Don't make your decision about a partner solely because on how much he loves you. Love should flow both ways for a relationship to succeed. If it's all one-sided, it'll eventually fall apart. So take a moment to think about your feelings for him and express your love too. Men can also feel a bit anxious, especially when they have strong emotions and they may wonder if you love them back. Show that you are supportive and always there for him. It's all about having a balance and mutual love for a happy and healthy relationship. Remember, love should go both ways in relationship. Don't base your choice solely on how much he loves you. Express your love too. It's all about a balance and mutual love for a happy and healthy relationship.